Dear students, in this session we are going to discuss about functions in JavaScript. Let's start this session with the definition of function. Function means it's a block of code which is designed to perform a particular task. In JavaScript also, function is a block of code designed to perform a particular task. A JavaScript function is executed when something invokes it or calls it. So function means it is having a set of statements. This set of statements are entitled or it is used for doing a particular task. We can call all these statements by a name that is termed as the function name. So functions are normally executed whenever a call towards the function is happened. So something is needed to invoke a particular function. Then only the execution of the function will happen. Now we can see what is a function syntax in JavaScript. A JavaScript function is defined with function keyword followed by a name followed by parenthesis. So in JavaScript the function is defined with the keyword function followed by a function name. Function name is an identifier which follows all the rules of identifiers. Then comes the parenthesis which includes the parameters of the function. So function name can contain letters, digits, underscores and dollar signs. It will be same rules as variables. The parentheses may include parameter names separated by commas. If you are having more than one parameter towards a particular function, we can separate the parameter names by commas. The code to be executed by the function is placed inside the curly brackets. So for defining a function in JavaScript, what we have to do is we have to specify the keyword function followed by function name. Then parenthesis is needed. Inside the parenthesis, we have to specify what are the parameters. If more than one parameter is there, that should be separated by commas. Then comes the block of the function. We can specify what all are the statements that to be executed. Now we can see how we can invoke a function and we can see the function return value. Function invocation can be happened by some situations or some reasons. The code inside the function will execute when something invokes the function. So whenever a call towards the function is happen, then only the statements in the corresponding function will execute. Now we can see how the function call happened. The function call can be happened in different ways. There are some ways listed in this slide. When an event occurs or when a user clicks a particular button, sometimes a on click function, sometimes a button click is happened, a function will be invoked. That is happened. Or when it is invoked from JavaScript code. So inside the JavaScript code, a call towards the function is specified. In that way, we can invoke a function, and sometimes the functions are invoked automatically. That is, self-invoked functions are there. For example, if you are considering the case of a recursive function means a function that calls itself, and the user provides a value towards a particular recursive function. What happens is that function will call itself multiple times with new value generated. That type of function invocation is also there in JavaScript. So function invocation should be happen whenever an event occurs, or it can be happen from a JavaScript code, or it will be happen automatically. Now we see what is function return. When JavaScript reaches a return statement, the function will stop executing. So normally the JavaScript function will end up by a return statement. The execution of a function will stop whenever it reaches a return statement. If the function was invoked from the statement, JavaScript will return to execute the code after invoking the statement. So what happens here it is, JavaScript will return the value, JavaScript will return the value from the function to the position where the corresponding function call is happened. Functions often compute a return value and the return value is returned back to the caller. So what we discussed about function is, in JavaScript the function can be defined using the keyword function followed by function name, then comes the parenthesis with parameters towards the function, then the block of statement should be mentioned. Then in order to invoke a function, invoking a function in JavaScript can be happened in multiple ways whenever an event occurs, or it can be invoked from the JavaScript code itself, or it can be automatically invoked. So normally the JavaScript function ends its execution whenever it reaches a particular return statement. So what data inside the return statement, that will be returned back to the called area. Here there is an example, functions with return values. A function can return value of any type using the keyword return. The same function can possibly return values of different types. Here we are having a function, the name of the function is foo. So function foo, this foo function is having a parameter and the name of the parameter is p1. Then comes the block of the corresponding function. Inside the block, a conditional if statement is specified. If type of p1 equal to number. Type of is a function in JavaScript which is used to identify the data type of a variable. If type of p1 is equal to number, it returns 0. So what happens is, if we have to check the data type of p1, if the data type of p1 is number, it should return a numerical value 0. Otherwise, it moves to the else part. Else part contains another checking condition. If type of p1 equal to string. So if the data type of parameter p1 is a string value, then it will return 0 in strings. So it will return a value, will return a string value and the content is 0. So that is the function. So in order to invoke this foo function, after the function definition, we can see the corresponding function invocation statement. Foo of 1. Foo of 1 here mentions that 1 is the parameter which should be passed to the foo function. So 1 is copied to p1. So if type of p1, that is type of 1 is a number, so number is equal to number, so it will return numerical 0 value. So this function will return numerical 0 value. So whenever this function reaches a return statement, it stops executing that particular function. So it will be, control will be returned from the function back to the position where the corresponding call should be happening. The next statement is foo of ABC. Foo of ABC. Here what happens is, ABC is copied to parameter P1. Then it identifies type of P1. So it mentions what all things are happened in, what should be the data type of P1. So it will get the data type as string. So this condition is 4. So it will move to the else part. Here string is equal to string. So it will return 0 in string. So it returns 0 in string. The next call foo, simply calling the foo function. So here what happens is, no parameter is mentioned here. So nothing will be copied to P1. So P1 is actually, here in this particular case, P1 is a variable which is not initialized. If a variable is not initialized in JavaScript, then the data type of that variable is undefined. So here what happens is, if type of P1 is equal to number, so undefined equal to number, it will return 0. So it's false. Here also false. So what happens to this particular function is, it automatically returns undefined data type. So this function will produce undefined as the corresponding result. Hope you understood how the return values work. Now we can see the JavaScript function scope. In JavaScript, there are two types of scope, local scope and global scope. JavaScript has function scope, and each function creates a new scope. We know that scope means the visibility or accessibility of variables. We are having normally two types of variables, local variables and global variables. Local variables means these are variables which are declared inside a block. So the accessibility or visibility of this type of variables are limited to that particular, or it is restricted to that particular block. Then global variables means these are declared globally in a particular file, and all the contents in the file can access this type of variables. That type of data are known as global variables, and its scope is mentioned as global scope. So scope determines the visibility or accessibility of the variables. Variables defined inside a function are not accessible from outside the function. So if you are declaring a variable inside a parenthesis or inside a curly braces, then that variable will be accessible within that particular block. It is not having access outside the block. Outside the block, it will be treated as a new variable. So local JavaScript variables declared within a JavaScript function become local to the function. Local variables have local scope. They can only be accessed within the function. So local variables means these are variables which are declared inside a function, and scope of this type of variables are limited to that particular function. Now we can see the different types of variable arguments. Arguments is a local variable that is available in every function. It can be a local variable or an array that is available in every function. So we can catch while we are calling a particular function, if that function code is containing some arguments, then that arguments is actually copied to the parameters of the function. In some cases, the parameters are absent. In such a situation, what the JavaScript do is, JavaScript uses an array called arguments array, where this arguments array contains the arguments that are used by the function code. So here we are having an example. Here we are having a function called sum. So inside the function, just specifying function keyword, then the function name, then parenthesis is there, empty parenthesis is there. That means there are no parameters for this particular function. Then a curly braces is there. Inside that function body, a variable s is declared with initial value 0. After that, a for loop is there which contains an iterating variable I with initial value 0. Then the condition for iteration is I less than arguments dot length. Then iteration is happened, I plus plus. Then inside the for loop we are having a single statement, s plus is equal to arguments of I. Then after that, return statement which marks the end of the corresponding function. So if we are looking at this particular function sum, we can see that there will be no parameter in the function header. At the same time, inside the function there will be using an array called arguments dot length, arguments of I. Arguments of I indicates that arguments is an array. So the meaning of this particular concept is that in JavaScript, instead of having a local variable for collecting the argument, they are using an array called arguments array. So here this sum function is an example. where no parameters is mentioned in the function header. Now we can see the function code, sum of 1, 2, 3. So here a function called for the sum function with three arguments 1, 2 and 3. So what happened here it is the sum function is invoked. At the same time 1, 2, 3 there will be no variable for copying the arguments. So in such a situation what happens is this 1, 2, 3 will be copied to an array called arguments array. So if nothing is specified, if no parameters is mentioned in the function header, it will be automatically copied to an array called arguments array. Then what happens here is variable s is declared and it will be initialized with 0 value. Then a for loop will be activated with I is equal to 0, I less than arguments dot length, then I plus plus, then s plus is equal to arguments of I. So what happens here it is this array, arguments in the function code will be converted to an argument array. So here three arguments are there, 1, 2 and 3. So an array will be created with index values. The size of the array is 3. So index value will be 0 to 2, 0, 1, 2. Because array index always starts from 0. So the range of this argument array is 0 to 2. So here what happens is 1, 2, 3 is inside the argument array. So here using this for loop we are going to access all the elements in the corresponding arguments array. So what happens here it is initially I is equal to 0. So what happens is s plus is equal to arguments of I. At present s is having value 0, 0 plus argument of 0, arguments of 0 it contains value 1. So 0 plus 1, 1. So s is having 1 value. Then next value of I is iterated. That is I is equal to 1. It is less than arguments dot length. Arguments dot length is 3. So 1 is less than 3. So what happens is s plus is equal to arguments of 1. Already s is having 1 value. So 1 plus or equal to 2. So s is having the value 3 now. Then again the next iteration I value will become 2. So what happens here it is arguments of 2. Arguments of 2 the value is 3. So already s is having value 3. 3 plus 3 it will produces output as 6. So s will having the result as 6. Then the next iteration 3 less than 3. So that condition is wrong. So it will be exited from the corresponding for loop. Then return of s. So the final value of s is 6. So it will produces or it will returns. This function will returns a value 6 to the call. Now we can see the next function called sum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here 5 arguments are passed towards the corresponding sum function. Here what happened is this 5 arguments are copied to an array called arguments array. So using a for loop we are going to traverse through the corresponding arguments array and all the elements are summed up and its final result will be produced. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, a total of 15. So this function, after executing this for loop, this function will return a value 15 towards the caller. So in this particular example, what we see as arguments array. Where we use this arguments array is that if a local variable in the function header is absent, the arguments from the function call should be copied to an array called arguments array. Using a for loop, we can traverse through the elements of an arguments array. Now we can see some of the built-in functions that are available in JavaScript. The first function is eval function. Eval function always takes an expression as the parameter. So eval function is used for evaluating an expression or a statement. Here an example is there, eval of 3 plus 4. Eval of 3 plus 4 indicates that it is trying to evaluate the expression that is enclosed in the parenthesis. So 3 it should be added with 4. So it will return a number value 7. So the next example is eval of alert of hello. Eval of alert of hello. So inside this particular evaluation function, it will generate an alert box with value hello. The next function is finite of x. Is finite of x is a function which is used to determine if a number is finite or not. If a number is finite, it will produces a true value. Otherwise, it will produces a false value. Now we are having another function called is nan of x. NaN stands for not a number. It determines whether a value is not a number. So if the x is not a number, it will produces a true value. If x is a number value, it will produces a false value. Now we are having some of the built-in functions like some parsing functions, parsing of s, parsing of s comma radix. Both of these parsing functions are used to convert string literals to integers. We are having the examples. Parse int of 3 chances. The string is 3 chances. So what happened here it is, it passes up to any character that is not part of a valid integer. If integers are available in the string, that will be considered. Then that integer value or that numerical value will be taken as the converted value. So in this particular example, 3 is taken as a numeral. So what happens here in this conversion is, this after this conversion it will produces a value 3. The next example is parse int of 5 li. If you are moving through this particular string value, a numeral 5 is there. So what happens here it is, this particular parsing function will returns value 5. Now move on to the next example. Parse int of how are you. Parse int of how are you. In this particular string, no numeral values are specified. So this particular parsing function will generate a value called NaN, returns NaN, because it does not contain any numeric character. Next example, parse int of 17 comma 8. If you are looking at this particular example, we can see that 1, 7, both are numbers. Then after that an 8 is there, so it will returns an output 25. 17 plus 8, it will return 25. Then parse into float s. So parse float means it's a function which is used to convert the string to a floating value. It finds a floating point value at the beginning of a string. So parse float of 3 e raised to minus 1 xy is z. So what happens here it is, 3 e raised to minus 1 should be converted to a floating point value, that is 0.3. Next example is parse float of 13.5 ABC. So in this particular string we are having a floating point value 13.5. So what the result is, 13.5. This particular string produces an output 13.5. Now we can see how we can create objects in JavaScript. JavaScript is not an object-oriented programming language, but it is having some similarity with OOPS concept. Prototype is the closest thing to class in JavaScript, and in the coming slides we are going to discuss about how we can create objects in JavaScript without a class, and it is also possible to emulate inheritance in JavaScript. And if you want to know much more about JavaScript and object-oriented programming, you can use this particular web resource javascriptkit.com for identifying the relationship between JavaScript and object-oriented programming. Creating object using new object. I already told you that object is a concept or object is a data type that is available in JavaScript. Now we can see how we can create objects in JavaScript. Here, for creating an object in JavaScript, we have to use a keyword called new. We know that new is a keyword which is used for memory allocation. So here, this is an example. Variable person is equal to new object. Variable person is equal to new object, which indicates that person is a variable and that person is of object type, object data type. Now we see how we can assign properties to this person. Person dot first name. So the first property towards this person object is first name and the value for that particular attribute is John. Then person dot last name, that is the second attribute for person object and the value inside the last name is Doe. So person is an object which contains two attributes, first name and last name. First name holds a value called John, last name holds a value called Doe. Now if you want to assign a function towards the person object, we can simply specify person dot say hi is equal to function. Person dot say hi equal to function parenthesis. Then inside the block we can specify what all are the statements inside the function. Here a simple alert statement is there. So alert hi this dot first name space this dot last name. So it produces an alert box with first name hi, first name value space last name value. Now how we can call the corresponding function in say hi function in person object. In order to access the function in an object, we have to use object name dot function name. So here person is the object dot say hi is the function. So person dot say hi. So here what happens is the say hi function will work. Inside the say hi function an alert box will be generated. The alert box is having the message hi this dot first name. First name stored in the person object is John. Then the last name stored in the person object is Doe. So an alert box with message hi Joe Doe that will be displayed. Likewise, we can create objects in JavaScript. Alright, we will see another method for creating objects using literal notation. So here we can see a variable person. Then instead of using new keyword, here a curly braces is offered. Inside the curly braces, the property, the first property of the corresponding object is defined first name, colon, the value for that particular property, John. Then put a comma is there which indicates that there will be another attribute for the corresponding variable. The next attribute name is last name, colon, the corresponding value is Doe. Again comma is there which indicates that some more things are to be there for the corresponding variable. After that it is mentioned that say hi, colon. Instead of specifying a particular value, it specifies the keyword function with parenthesis which indicates that say hi is a function. Then after that a block is there which indicates the statements that are belonging to the function say hi. Here inside the function definition an alert statement is there which contains value hi this dot first name space this dot last name. Then function is closed and the corresponding variable declaration is closed. So this type of declaration gives the idea towards the variable person that person is an object variable which contains properties first name, last name, say hi. First name is having the value John, last name is having the value Doe. Say hi is a function which contains a statement, alert statement, which produces the alert message box. So in order to call the say hi function in this person object, we just call object name dot the corresponding function name. So here object name is person dot say hi. So what happens is the say hi function inside the object person will work. It will produces an alert box with message hi this dot first name. This mentions to the current object. So here the current object is person. Person is having the first name value John, last name value Doe. So hi John Doe. That is the message in the corresponding alert box. So like this way we can also create, like this way also we can create objects in JavaScript. Here we can see creating objects using literal notation. At the same time, nested notation is possible. Here there is an example which shows the nested notation. Nested notation means nesting. Nesting of statements mean one statement will be placed inside the other. So there will be an outer thing and there will be some inner values. So here we are going on this example is belonging to nested objects. Here we can see this variable triangle. Here a variable triangle is declared is equal to curly braces. So curly braces indicates that corresponding variable, triangle variable is an object. Then after that, after the curly braces, the value specified is P1. P1 colon again curly braces. So here P1 means that P1 is a particular attribute of triangle object, but again P1, the value mentioned in P1 is started with the curly braces. So it indicates that P1 is an inner object which contains attributes X and Y. X is taking value 0 and Y is having the value 3. So after that the curly braces of P1 is closed and a comma is there. Comma mentions that or comma gives the idea that there are some more attributes for the triangle. So another attribute, the second attribute of triangle is P2 colon. Again curly braces is there which gives the idea that P2 is also defined as an object which contains attributes X with value 1 and Y attribute with value 4. Again comma is there which indicates that some more attributes are there for the triangle object. The third attribute is specified. The third attribute name is P3 colon. Again curly braces is there. Here the curly braces indicates that P3 is also an object with attributes X and Y with values 2 and 5 respectively. So triangle is an object which contains properties P1, P2, P3 where all the properties of triangle are another triangular objects itself. So P1 is an object which is having properties X and Y. P2 is another object which is having properties X and Y. P3 is another object which is having values which is having properties X and Y. So if we want to access a particular object attribute, we have to specify outer object dot inner object not attribute name. So here there is an example alert of triangle dot p1 dot y. So alert of triangle, this is the triangle object. Then we can access the p1 attribute of triangle object. P1 is an inner object. Again p1 dot y. So the y attribute of p1 object. So the data is 3. So the alert box will contain the data 3. So this type of nested notation is possible in JavaScript. Now we see the object constructor and prototyping. We know that constructor is a concept that is specified in object-oriented programming. Here also constructor is there. JavaScript is not an object-oriented programming language, but it has some. It maintains some of the properties of object-oriented concepts. So constructor means it's a special member function which is having the same name as part of a class. That is the definition for constructor in terms of object-oriented programming. Here we are having no class, we are only specifying about object. So constructor in JavaScript indicates the name of an object. Constructor function is having the same name as that of object. So here we have a look at this particular example. Function person fname comma lname. So here what is happening is a function is defined with name person and this function takes two parameters fname and L name. Then the function body is opened. This dot first name is equal to F name. The first parameter is assigned to this dot first name and second parameter L name is assigned to this dot last name. So this refers to the current object. Then after that, after specifying the L name, this dot say hi. This dot say hi is equal to function. So for the current object, a function is defined with an alert statement hi. This dot first name space. This dot last name. Then the function body is closed. After that, the function person body is closed. So this particular function, this person function here act as a constructor. Why it act as a constructor is that inside the corresponding function, it assigns values to some attributes like this dot first name, this dot last name. This mentions to the current object. So current object's first name attribute, current object's last name attribute, and current object function is also mentioned. So here we are having a function invoking statement. Variable p1 is equal to new person John Doe. So here what we have to do is calling the person function with arguments John and Doe. So what will happen is John will be copied to F name and Doe will be copied to L name, and the corresponding function person will be invoked. So what happens here it is this node first name is assigned with F name data, that is John, and this dot last name will be assigned with L name data, that is Doe. So P1 is an object. P1 is an object, or P1 is an instance of person object which contains attributes first name with value John and last name with value Doe. Now we move on to the next statement, variable P2. Variable P2 is equal to new person of Jane Doe. Again, here if we are looking that particular statement, we can see that two arguments are there, Jane and Doe. These arguments are copied to F name and L name respectively. So what happens in this P2 is P2 dot first name will be assigned with Jane and P2 dot last name will be assigned with Doe. So up to this, two instances of person objects are created, P1 and P2. P1 is having first name value John, last name value Doe. P2 is having first name value Jane and P2 is having last name value Doe. Then after that, P1 dot say hi. P1 is a variable which is of object data type and it is just calling say hi. So what happens is the say hi function of P1 object will work, and inside that particular function an alert box will be generated with message hi this dot first name space this dot last name. So the message is hi John Doe. The next statement is P2 dot say hi. P2 dot say hi, what happens is P2 is an instance of person object. So P2 contains the data, first name data Jane and last name data Doe. So inside the corresponding say hi function, an alert message box will be generated with value hi Jane Doe. So this is an example for object constructor in JavaScript. Now we can see how we can add methods to objects using prototype. So in the previous example, we are using a constructor function called person, where we declare two instances for the person object, variable P1 and P2. Variable P1 is having the data John Doe and variable P2 is having the data Jane Doe. Now here what we are going to do is we are going to add new function to the already existing person object. For adding new function towards an already existing object, what we have to do is we have to use a method called prototype. Here there is an example. Person is the name of constructor function. Person dot prototype dot say hello. If person dot prototype dot say hello, if you're using the keyword prototype with the corresponding person object, what happens here it is a new thing should be added to the corresponding object. So here it is person dot prototype dot say hello is equal to function. So which means that we are adding a new function which names say hello to the already existing object person. So after that, the function defining block is there, which here the function declaration or function defining block contains an alert statement with message hello this dot first name space this dot last name. So this means that we are adding a new method to all the instances of person. So we mentioned person as a constructor function with attributes first name, last name, say hi function. In addition to the say hi function, now we are going to add by using the prototype statement, we are trying to add a new function to the existing person object. So this prototype or if the currently added function is applicable, the say hello function is applicable to all the instances of the person object. So we already created two instances P1 and P2. Using the P1 and P2 we can access the say hello function. P1 dot say hello gives or P1 dot say hello produces the message or what happens here it is p1 dot say hello. If we call p1 dot say hello, an alert box will be generated with message hello John Doe. Then p2 dot say hello. What happens here it is the say hello function of p2 will be invoked and it will generate an alert box with message hello Jane Doe. So using this prototype, we can add new functions to an existing object in JavaScript. The syntax is object name dot specify the keyword prototype dot. After that, you can specify what should be the attribute name or what should be the function name followed by the value. If it is an attribute followed by the corresponding attribute value, or if it is a function followed by the function definition statements. Hope you understood all the things which is related to JavaScript. Thank you.